Yesterday was a pretty easy day for the technical officials with only 1 or 2 disqualifications. Let's hope that this one will be pretty much the same and none of the swimmers will get disqualified. Here are the referees: Andrea Thielenhaus for the men's events and Mireille Zimmer from Luxembourg for the women's events. The starters: Matteo Randoni and Kevin Patterson. And Mr. Craig Hunter is the technical delegate for this event. All smiles, everyone happy around. And Tallcross and everyone waiting for the show to begin. As I said, the 200-meter freestyle is going to be the first event, and that is the one that most of the swimming enthusiasts were looking forward to, as James Guy, Duncan Scott and Danas Rapsis from Lithuania will face off. This is Marco Biri, head of operations at LEN, making sure that everything is right here at the venue and the competition is run smoothly. So the 200 freestyle featuring some great names, and yeah, we can expect some greatness already in the prelims. Only the 8 fastest will go through to the finals. Whenever they are racing long course, in the 200-meter events we have semi-finals, so maybe a little bit easier to go through. But the short course events, it is direct qualification to the final. No time for semi-finals in the 200-meter events. We are going to have 6 heats in the men's 200 free, and as you could get used to, the final 3 are the cyclically seeded ones where the big guns will be facing off each other. This is heat number 1 with Primož Senica from Slovenia in lane 4, meaning that he has the best entry time of all these swimmers. Keep an eye on Xaver Trentner from Austria, a 1:54 to his name. He might be a lot faster than that. Thomas Lomero from Andorra, Nikita Bortnichov from Moldova, Teimuraz Kobakidze representing Georgia in 3, then Senica and Trentner in the middle lanes, Gianluca Pasolini, San Marino in 6, and Old Condiroli representing Kosovo down in lane 7. This is the lineup for the first heat in the men's 200-meter freestyle.
Take your marks.
So Senica with an entry time of 1:50.95, but it is Trentner, the Austrian, who sets the pace. The 50-meter mark is going to be either the Austrian or the Georgian Kobakidze up in front. 25:09, the first split, suggesting a swim that might be around the 150 barrier, maybe even under that. Of course, these swimmers have no realistic chance of qualifying for the final. Their goal could be a new personal best or a national record. the halfway turn, it was Kobakidze up in front, just ahead of Schwentner. But the Austrian seems to fade away in the second 100 meters, as he is only in third position right now, with Kobakidze holding on to his lead. But at the last turn, it is going to be Senica up in front, and the Slovenian will most probably take this heat and be under 150. So the first heat of this morning session is won by Slovenia's Primož Senica, 1:48.92, and both Kobakidze and Schwentner dipped below 150 in this first heat. Senica bettering his entry time by more than 2 full seconds. Kobakidze, well, he had an entry time of 1:56. I doubt that that was his personal best. Anyway, hats off to those three swimming under 150 in the first heat of the 200 free. Moving on to heat number 2, we have Robert Powell in 4 and Gabor Zombori in 5. Those are the top 2 seeds of this heat. Keep an eye on Wojciech Wojdak, down in 7.
Take your marks.
Zombori is the world junior champion in the 400 meters. He swam a personal best yesterday in the 400. However, was far from qualifying to the finals. Still very young, only 17 years of age, and he is the early leader. His split is almost 9/10 of a second faster than Kobakidze's was in the previous heat. Also looking strong up in lanes 0 and 1, Gal Cohen and Anton Errala. Now it is the Israeli who is in the lead. His pace is 2 full seconds faster than what we've seen in the previous one. Still in the lead, Gal Cohen with Max Mannes from Luxembourg, also looking strong. Only 50 meters to go. 1:18.53. And this is where it starts to hurt, and the final turn. It is still the Luxembourg guy in front, but Zombori has the fastest speed on this home stretch, and he takes it with a time of 1:46.15, which is yet another new personal best for the Hungarian, bettering his old mark by more than a second. He has the endurance for the 200 meters. He has the speed for the 200 meters. He can be a star in the making for Hungary. This is the final result of heat number 2, and heat 3 is already at the blocks. Andreas Hansen from Denmark in the middle lane.
This is heat 3.
Hansen in 4, Noé Ponti from Switzerland in 5, and Nandor Németh from Hungary, another Hungarian young gun who was a World Championship finalist in the 100-meter freestyle this summer in Gwangju. He is in lane 6 and he is the early pace setter. A little bit holding back. So it is Denis Loktev who turns first. The split 1/10 faster than in the previous heat. Now Hansen makes a move in 3 or 4, and he is now only 900ths of a second behind Loktev, with Mertens in 3, the German, in 3rd position right now. The pace is very close to the speed of Zombori in the previous heat, just a few hundredths of a second faster than that. Final 50-meter coming up, and Mertens takes the lead. Hansen with the same split as Noé Ponti in 5. A late surge by Németh in 6, and it is Ponti, Németh, and then Mertens at the final turn. Is it going to be the Swiss who takes it or the Hungarian? It is going to be very close, but the Hungarian wins it, dipping below 1:46. (1:45.24). The winning time for Nandor Németh, also setting a new personal best. Noé Ponti came in 2nd, and Yordan Yanchev with a great final 50 meters, clinching 3rd position. Denis Loktev, the early leader, finished way back in 9th position. And now to the seeded heats. We have Vladislav Grinev from Russia in 4, and Kacper Majchrzak from Poland swimming next to him in 5.
Take your marks.
Grinev, already European champion in the 4x50-meter freestyle, had a sub-21 split in his 50-meter leg. But also look out for Thomas Dean, who won, surprisingly enough, a silver medal in the 400-meter freestyle. Grinev, then up on lane 0, Dominik Kozma, World Championship finalist in the 200 free. And also in 6th, Thomas Dean, looking strong. So right now it is Kozma and Grinev and Jordan Sloan in lane 8. Sub 50 split. And a halfway turn. And now Grinev makes his move. Takes the lead most probably. Yes, he does. Sloan, Dean, and then Kozma. At the start of the final 50 meters. Sloan still looking very strong. But here comes Thomas Dean in 6 and Kacper Majchrzak in 5. This is going to be a very tight affair. And Dean is going to take this one. Yes, he does. Dean, Sloan, Majchrzak, and Grinev down in 4th. That was a quick one. 1:43.32. The winning time by Thomas Dean. 2 years ago in Copenhagen at the last edition of the European Short Course Swimming Championships, it took 1:44.6 to qualify for the final. 1:44.6. Well, that is the time of Dominic Kosma down in 7th position. So this time around, that would definitely not be enough to go through, as we still have 2 more heats to go. And the penultimate one features James Guy and Duncan Scott in lanes 3 and 5. This is Vekovicev, short course world championship finalist in the 200 free.
Take your marks.
James Guy, a world champion in the 200 free. Duncan Scott, the European champion in the 200 free. And at the 50-meter mark, those two, together with Vekovicev, are up in front under European record pace. The European record stands to Paul Biedermann, who set that incredible European and world record back in 2009 in Berlin. But there was, you know, a shiny suit record, and no one else ever got close to that. Duncan Scott still under European record pace. Let's not forget that even if there would be, let's say, 3 British in the first 8, Thomas Dean, Duncan Scott and James Guy, only the 2 best of them can go through to the final. And James Guy has some problems right now. He is down in 4th. Duncan Scott still holding on to his lead. Vekovicev 2nd, and Jack McMillan, another Irish, in 3rd. And the final turn. Scott is going to bring this home, and well, James Guy with great speed in the final 15 meters, managing to clinch the 3rd spot. And his time is better than what Thomas Dean swam in the previous heat. So Duncan Scott, 1:40.92. A very, very strong swim in the prelims by Duncan Scott. Of course, he wanted to make sure that he will be in for the finals to beat James Guy and also better the time of Thomas Dean from the previous heat. Beating the field by more than 1.5 seconds, Duncan Scott. And 4 swimmers under 1:43. This is going to be a quick one in the finals. The final heat is coming up in the men's 200 free. Danas Rapšys in the middle lane. Winner in the 400 meters with a new championship record. And Filippo Maggi next to him in 5.
Take your marks.
Rapšys had an easy swim yesterday morning in the prelims of the 400-meter free and qualified to the finals in 3rd position, if I recall correctly. And in the final, it was class on his own, beating the field by more than 4 seconds. It is Markus Svensson from Denmark in lane 0, who was first at the turn at 50 meters. But now, as we approach the halfway mark, Filippo Meyi up in front. His split is going to be 50 seconds flat. So that is slower than the pace of the previous two heats. Slower than James Guy, Duncan Scott, Vekovicev, and also Thomas Dean. 150. May up in front by a body length almost. 78 seconds, or hundredths of a second, his advantage over Rapsis. And now it is time for Rapsis to make a move to make sure that he will be in the final. And well, he does make a move, and his winning time is 1:42.78, which is way slower than what Duncan Scott produced in the previous heat, but shall be good enough for qualification. Interestingly enough, this was the slowest of the seeded heats, but Rapsis is safely through, and so is Filippo Meyi from this heat. But Robin Hansen already missing out. So Duncan Scott has the best time, 1:40.92. Vekovicev, Guy, Rapsis, he will be swimming in lane 6. Then Paolo, Macmillan, Meyi, and Sloan. So 2 Irish, 2 Italian, and 2 British guys in the final of the men's 200-meter freestyle. That is going to be one heck of a race. But now we are moving on to our next event, which is the women's 50-meter butterfly, with reigning champion Sara Sjöström not in Glasgow. Four heats to be contested, and the first one features Fanny Tajonsalo from Finland in 4. And also in this heat, in lane number 6, we have Mariam Sheikhalizadeh from Azerbaijan, most probably the swimmer with the longest name in the entry list. There you have her, in lane 6.
Take your marks.
Unfortunately, the girl from Azerbaijan did not start this event, so let's talk about those who are in the water right now, and it is Tajonsalo who turns first in 4. Great underwater kicking by her, and she will hold on to that lead up until the wall. Yes, she will. So Tajonsalo takes it just over 27 seconds. 27.59 her entry time. So she bettered that by more than half a second. There is reason to be happy for Fanny Tajonsalo. Guðmundsdóttir from Iceland in 2nd, and Vera Kivirinta, a breaststroke swimmer, in 3rd position. Now we are already at one of the seeded heats, as there are only 4 heats in the 50 fly. In this one, Arina Surkova from Russia in 4 and Alina Schmidtka from Germany in 5.
Take your marks.
Great start by Surkova. We can expect times very close to the 25-second barrier. Surkova clearly up in the lead. Sara Junevik from Sweden in lane 6 in second position at the turn. It is still the Russian up in front, and she takes it ahead of Dudunaki from Greece and Silvia Di Pietro from Italy. 25.68 the winning time. As this is a 50-meter race, we will have semi-finals contested this afternoon. So the 16 fastest swimmers will go through. Surkova, Dudunaki, those two are under 26 seconds. 2 years ago it took 26.3 to qualify. Penultimate heat, Melanie Annick in 4, Emily Beckman in 5.
Take your marks.
A great start by Melanie Annick, former World Championship bronze medalist from France. And she is clearly in the lead. Did not have the best of turns. So she might be overtaken now. Not yet. Annick still in front, Beckman in second. And the French woman takes it 25.37. It was faster, way faster than Surkova in the previous heat. One-tenth of a second separating Annick and Beckman, who was silver medalist 2 years ago in this event, and Shkurdai in third position. Those three are under 26 in this heat as we move on to the final heat of the women's 50-meter butterfly. Beryl Gastadello has been the story of the year so far. The French woman setting personal bests week by week, and now she is under 25 seconds.
Take your marks.
Gastadello in 4. Jeanette Ottesen, former world champion, next to her. And it is Ottesen with the better start, and she will turn first at the 25-meter mark. Can she hold on to that lead? Gastadello, great underwater kicking. But Ottesen still in front. However, at the final touch, it is Gastadello ahead of Dolido and Ottesen. Only a few hundredths of a second separating those three, and those three are under 26. Beryl Gastadello, an easy swim by her. Let's not forget that we will have the 100-meter freestyle for women a little later on in the program, and she will be swimming in that one as well. So it was Ottesen all the way through up until the final touch, where she was overtaken by Gastadello and Dolido as well. A very poor final touch by Ottesen, not kicking strong enough, just gliding to the wall, and that cost her the win in this preliminary. So this is the summary. Melanie Ennick, the first through, with Gastaldello in third. All the big names are in the semis, of course, and Elena Özkan from Turkey makes the cut in 16th position with a 26.60. We move on to the next event, which is the men's 200 meters back breaststroke. Only 4 heats, so we will have 3 swimmers in this first heat, and then we move on to the seeded heats already. Kirill Prigoda is the world record holder. He set that time at the World Short Course Championships in Hangzhou last December. And the championship record stands to Marco Koch since Netanya 2015. Prigoda is absent, Koch is present, and he will be swimming in the final heat.
Take your marks.
In this first heat we have Giacomo Casadei from San Marino, Ron Polonsky, Israel, and Olli Kokko from Finland. And the Finnish seems to be the strongest of these 3, with an entry time of 2:17.4. Once again, as this is a 200-meter race, there will be direct qualification to the final. So only the 8 fastest swimmers will go through. Olli Kokko, the early pace setter, but Ron Polonsky in lane 4 is very close to him. Giacomo Casadei from San Marino way behind. 1:02.7. The split at the halfway turn, with half a second separating the leading 2. And this is the all-important third 50 meters, and Olli Kokko seems to have the power and the endurance for these 50 meters, and he's able to build on his lead with 50 meters to go. Polonsky already almost 1 full second behind him. This is going to be way better than the entry time of Olli Kokko. It could have been a long course entry time, meaning that he did not swim this event short course in the past 1.5 years. So Olli Kokko is below 2:10. Hats off to Olli Kokko. That was a nice swim by him. Swimming 50s of 29.4, then 33.3, 33.3, 33.5. Very well paced 200 meters, and a huge personal best for Kokko. And we already have one of the seeded heats at the starting blocks. In lane 4, Mikhail Dorinov from Russia, and in 5, Erik Persson from Sweden.
Take your marks.
So it is Dorinov in lane 4, He was a bronze medalist at the last edition of the European Short Course Swimming Championships and also bronze medalist at the World Short Course Championships 3 years ago. He is the strongest Russian now, in the absence of World Long Course Champion Anton Chupkov and World Short Course Champion Kirill Prigoda. That is Persson, however, who sets the pace, 28.6, which is of course way faster than what we've seen from Olli Kokko in an unseeded heat. We can expect these gentlemen to go, well, around 2:05 already in the morning, even better than that. 59.7 at the halfway mark. It is still Persson, followed by Dorinov, and Andrius Sidlauskas is in third position. Persson looking strong. However, this pullout is not too long, which means he is lacking some power right now. Can Dorinov get closer to him in the final 50 meters? Well, it does not seem so. Persson, the clearly leader at the final turn. Dorinov a little bit sluggish at the wall. And the Swede is going to take this one. His winning time is well below 2:05. Dorinov already on 2:05. Persson 2:03.26. Some enthusiastic Swede fans, and they have reason to cheer because Erik Persson will easily make it through to the final in the men's 200 breaststroke. (2:03.26), the time of Erik Persson, and we move on to the penultimate heat, featuring Arno Kaminga, who is the breaststroke sensation of this year so far, or this season, setting new Dutch records week by week. And now already a bronze medal winner in the 50-meter breaststroke. He is ready to take this one.
Take your marks.
Keep an eye on James Wilby up in 2, who is the European and World Championship silver medalist in the 100 meters. Also Ilya Shimanovic in 5, but he's rather a sprinter. And Christoph Rothbauer from Austria, multiple finals to his name, looking to add one more. That is Kaminga at 50 meters. More than a second faster than Persson was in the previous heat. What a pull out by Shimanovic in the blue cap, but it is still Arno Kaminga up in front, building on the lead. 59.08, 7/10 of a second ahead of Erik Persson. Here comes Rothbauer in 6. But he can only fight for second spot in this heat. 50 meters to go. Arno Kaminga easing out a little bit. 1:30.6. still under the pace of Erik Persson. And Kuminga will qualify easily and win this heat by a huge margin. Rothbauer and Šimanović fight for the second spot and for a possible qualification to the final, while Kuminga takes it in 2:02.4. He still has a few seconds left in him, even if he betters his entry time by 0.15 of a second. But that seemed to be an easy swim by Arnaud Kuminga. For me, he is the favorite to take this title tonight in the finals. He was hitting very great form in this season, and now he has a 2:02.4 to his name. Šimanović second, Rothbauer third. And this is the lineup for the final heat. Marco Koch, the former world and European champion, in 4. Russ Murdoch swimming next to him.
Take your marks.
Two years ago in Copenhagen, it was Kirill Prigoda who won the title ahead of Koch and Dorinov, with Russ Murdoch surprisingly missing the cut and finishing only in 9th position. Anton McKee, Koch and Murdoch, those three are up in front. Their split is 0.7 of a second slower than that of Kuminga. And still those three clearly in front of the rest of the pack. But still a long way to go. And the halfway turn, Murdoch in the lead, just under 1 minute. That is a slow pace. That is a slow pace, and there is some risk that one of these guys will miss out on the finals. They have to turn on the speed right now because it's not a fast heat. Koch takes the lead with 50 to go. 1:31.7. Yeah, that was a quick 50 by Koch. Murdoch in second, McKee third. And now at the final turn, the German can look around, see that he is clearly up in front. And he can take this one. He looks strong in the final 10 meters. But it is still Marco Koch who wins it. 2:03.55, the winning time. Which should be enough for qualification. Easily in third position, behind Kuminga and Erik Persson. Russ Murdoch overtaken by Martin Aliqui in the final meters, but both of them will make the final. So this time around, no mistake for Russ Murdoch, and he qualifies. Even if it was not a nice swim by Murdoch, was too strong at the start, was missing some endurance. In the end, but it was a happy end for him as he will go through David Horvat from Hungary, just missing the cut. There you have it. Kaminga, Persson, Koch, then McKee, Alekvi, Ross Murdoch, Dorinov and Shimanovic are in the final of the men's 200-meter breaststroke, with Kaminga leading the way by more than 0.8 of a second. Our next event is going to be the women's 100-meter freestyle. 7 heats to be contested. Of course, the big names are in the final 3, so that is heat 5, 6, and 7. The first one, Albania, Moldova and Kosovo are represented.
This is heat 1.
Take your marks.
So in this first heat, Emma Rock, Tatiana Salkutan and Fjorda Shabani, with Salkutan having the best entry time, 101.4. That is her previous best in the short course, and that is going to be bettered today, at least as it seems now at the halfway turn. 28.01. The speed of Salkutan looks good enough to go, well, close to the 1 minute barrier. Only 15 meters to go now. Salkutan in the lead, and it will be well below 1 minute. 58.48 the winning time. Shabani outside of 101. Rock in third. But all 3 of them bettered their respective entry time. So Tatiana Salkutan from Moldova, the winner of heat number 1. Here's the lineup of heat 2. Lena Opatril from Austria, of course way better entry times than what we've seen in the first one.
Take your marks.
Opatril in 4. Guðmundsdóttir from Iceland in 5. But it is in lane 7, Fanny Tajansalo from Finland, who we've seen racing already this morning and winning her heat. And also Jessa Pintar from Slovenia, she is out in lane 2. So it is going to be Pintar or Tajansalo who take this second heat, and the Slovenia looks strong down the stretch, and she wins by quite a big margin. 54.09 the winning time. That's a great time by Pintar. Her entry time of 57. So improving a lot on that. And unfortunately, Azerbaijan's Maryam Sheikalizadeh Ganga did not show up in this race. Moving on to Heat 3, we are getting close to the big names, getting close to the seeded heats. In this third heat, we have Zuzana Pavlikovska from Slovakia in lane 4.
Take your marks.
Gabriela Nikitina in 5, and looking strong up in lane 0, Nina Gangl from Austria. What a meet the Austrians are having. Lots of finals, lots of personal bests. Austrian swimming is improving thanks to the great coaching there. Nina Gangl is first at the turn. And now it is in lane 2, İlhur Çakici from Turkey. Let's not forget Turkey already winning a medal in the men's 50 breast and also being represented in several finals. So it's good to see Turkey back on the medal table. But it is Daniel Hill from Ireland who wins this heat. 55.18, the winning time, which is slower than the speed of Tjasa Pintar in the previous heat. Outside of 55 seconds, it's Daniel Hill ahead of Çakici and Nina Gangl. Only one more heat to go before we reach the seeded ones. In this we have Gizem Güvenç from Turkey in 4. Emily Gantris from Denmark in 5.
Take your marks.
So far, it is Tjasa Pintar who leads the ranks with a time of 54.09, which would have made the semi-finals 2 years ago in Copenhagen, by the way. Back then it took 54.5, but the field seems to be stronger this time around. Gantris, the leader at the halfway mark, under 26 seconds. And it is still her in the lead. Janja Segel from Slovenia closest to her. Ooh, that was very ugly. The final 10 meters for Gantris completely ran out of gas, and Janja Segel managed to overtake her in the final meters. So Janja Segel 54.27, good enough for second place in the rankings. As we move to the first of the seeded heats, featuring Anna Hopkin and Freya Anderson next to each other in lanes 4 and 5. This is the final result of the previous heat. Segel and Gantris, those two are below 55.
This is Heat 5.
Take your marks.
Great start by Kornelia Fitkevich from Poland in lane 1. And now it is already Anna Hopkin up in front. Hopkin with an entry time of 52 flat. She was third fastest so far this year. 25.13, way faster than in the previous heats. Of course, this is already one of the seeded heats, and this is where Freya Anderson makes her move. A very good 200-meter swimmer as well, so she has the endurance and she can overtake compatriot Anna Hopkin at the final 25 meters and wins it by a huge margin. 52.03 the winning time by Freya Anderson. And it seemed to be an easy swim by her. Of course, to win the title, she needs to improve on that time, but she is capable of doing that. So only Anderson and Hopkin below 53 seconds in this first seeded heat. And we can already see the lineup for the penultimate one with Beryl Gastadalo back in action and Federica Pellegrini, one of the greatest of all times. Still in the mix. And lane 5, the great Italian princess.
Take your marks.
Maria Igokova not showing up in lane 7. So let's focus on the middle lanes. And focus on Katarzyna Wasik from Poland. She is in 6 and she is the early pace setter. Of course, we can expect Pellegrini to make her move around the final turn. As of now, it is Wasik, Seymanova, Karakuskaya, and Gastadalo Pellegrini down in 4th and 5th position. It is still Wasik in the lead. Now Pellegrini and Gastadalo, both with a huge turn, getting close to Wasik, but the pole and also Seymanova look strong. So it is Wasik, Pellegrini, Seymanova, Gastadalo. 53.20, the winning time. You may recall Freya Anderson's time was way faster than that, 52.0. So more than a full second faster than Katarzyna Wasik's winning time in this heat. Beryl Gastadalo down in 4th position right now. Of course, as this is only a 100-meter race, she needs to be in the top 16, which she will manage most probably. And then she can rest and prepare for the semi-finals, not only in this event but also the 50-meter fly. This is the lineup for the final heat. Femke Heemskerk from the Netherlands in 4 and Pernilla Blume in 5. Both of them Olympic champions, world champion. Heemskerk, one of the best sprinters short course of this past decade.
Take your marks.
It is Heemskerk who turns first at the 25-meter mark. Arina Surkova from Russia in 3, and the other Russian in pink cap, Daria Ustinova. 25.29, which is slower than Anna Hopkins' pace was in the 5th heat. But Heemskerk seems to be swimming very easily these 100 meters. This is a convincing swim by Femke Heemskerk. Blume getting close to her. Heemskerk easing out and still winning the heat by almost 4/10 of a second ahead of Pernille Blume. Heemskerk, the only swimmer in this heat, under 53 seconds. But easily winning this one. Let's not forget that Freya Andersen had the best time of the prelims, 52.0 compared to Heemskerk's 52.8. But this was a very easy morning swim by the Dutch. So let's see the ranks and who qualifies. Freya Andersen and Anna Hopkin 1-2 for the British. Then Heemskerk Blume, Pellegrini also safely through. And in 16th position we have Anushka Matem from France, just below 54 seconds. Just remember, 2 years ago in Copenhagen it took 54.5 to qualify, so the field is way stronger, way faster. One needed to swim under 54 seconds to go through to the semis this time around. Now we're back to the men and back to backstroke. We are going to see 7 heats of the men's 100-meter backstroke, with only 2 swimmers in this first heat. One of them representing Malta and the other one from Kosovo. Trent Ukimerai just checking out if everything's okay with the backstroke ledge. Well, it seems okay. So time for the first heat in this men's 100-meter backstroke.
Take your marks.
The world record stands to Su Chiayu since November of 2018. And the European record holder is Klimen Kolesnikov, who we will see in the final heat of this 100-meter backstroke. So Waring from Malta in the lead, and well, he has an entry time of 58.0. It is going to be close to that. And he is going to take this first heat by a huge margin, 58.09. And he will better that easily, 57.16, the winning time, with Trent Ukimerai just outside his personal best, finishing in the 2nd position. This was heat 1. Bogdan Kasyan from Ukraine not showing up. And we can move on to a full heat, and that is heat number 2 with Joe Litchfield in 4. Litchfield already a finalist in the 4x50 freestyle. Now 100 back for him.
Take your marks.
And he does have a great start. And already up in front. His entry time is 54.2. Great underwater kicking by Joe Litchfield. It is Bence Szentes from Hungary right next to him. 24.65. Of course, a lot better than Wearing's time split. And Litchfield is going to take this one easily. He surfaces at the 50-meter mark. So this is a nice swim by Joe Litchfield. 51.05. His winning time. 51.05. He might be in contention for the semifinals. Don't forget, the first 16 will go through, and even if we have 5 more heats to go, this was a very nice swim by Joe Litchfield. 2 years ago in Copenhagen, it needed 51.7 to qualify for the semis. 51.7, and now Joe Litchfield swims a 51.0. Well, let's see. 5 more heats to go, and in this heat number 3 we have Nandor Nemeth in lane 4. We've seen him earlier in the men's 200-meter freestyle, swimming a new personal best and winning his heat, but not doing well enough to qualify. Okay, some technical difficulties before we can start the race. This is Nandor Nemeth. Very good sprinter, 100-meter freestyle swimmer. Okay, so they had to put the backstroke pledge in place, and now it seems that everything is fine. And the men are ready to swim this 100-meter backstroke.
Take your marks.
Very poor start by the Hungarian. Oh, he's not a backstroke swimmer, but a freestyler, so he has some room to make up after the start. In lane 3, Björn Seeliger from Sweden, and in 5, Metin Aydin from Turkey. They are the early pace setters. 24.08, which is a little bit slower than Joe Litchfield's pace was. And the final turn, it is clearly Metin Aydin up in front. So the third is going to take this one. Nemeth with a late surge and managing to finish third and dip under 53 seconds. Aydin's winning time is 52.44. That is a lot slower than the speed of Joe Litchfield. Only 4 more heats to go. Litchfield clearly leading the way and hoping for a qualification in the semifinals. This is the lineup of the fourth heat with two more British swimmers, Brodie Williams in 4 and Nicholas Pyle down in lane 7. Let's not forget that we have Luke Greenbank featuring in the final heat, which means 4 British swimmers with a realistic chance of qualifying for the semi-finals. But only the 2 best of them can go through by rule.
Take your marks.
So it is Brodie Williams in 4. His entry time 52.2. So we can expect that a few of these guys will swim below 52. Cătălin Ungur from Romania, looking very strong in the first 50 meters. .24.2, which is faster than Joe Litchfield's split was. Gustav Högfeldt from Sweden, and then Brodie Williams. That was the order at the halfway turn. Now it is Ungur and Williams fighting off for the victory in this heat. And also coming strong in lane 1, Adam Telegdi, who finishes in 2nd position, just behind Brodie Williams. But the pace is way slower than that of Joe Litchfield. With only 3 heats to go, so the best 30 swimmers, I think Litchfield still has a chance, a very good chance for qualifying with that 51.05 of his. 3 swimmers under 52 in this 4th heat, and now we move on to the seeded heats. Radoslav Kavensky in lane 5, the winner of the men's 200-meter backstroke last night. Here's Kavensky. He was a short course European champion, not only in the 200 but also in the 100 meters. However, the 200 is his better distance. Whereas Robert Glinta, swimming in lane 4, is a typical 100-meter swimmer.
Take your marks.
So Glinta in 4, Kavensky in 5 in the first of the seeded heats. Lane 6, Thierry Bollem from Switzerland, who had the strongest first 20-25 meters. And the halfway turn, well, it is Glinta, then Shane Ryan and Dmitry Maltsev, the leading 3. The pace is faster than that of Joe Litchfield, but let's not forget, Litchfield had an amazing backhand speed, fantastic turn. And let's see where Kavensky is. Currently way behind. It is going to be Shane Ryan who takes this one. 50.45. So for the first time we go below 51 seconds. Bollem second, Glinta, Kavensky down in 5th position, and his time is slower than that of Joe Litchfield. So Shane Ryan winning this heat number 5, beating the field by quite a big margin. And Thierry Bollem just touching out Robert Glinta. Seven swimmers below 52 seconds. And 2 more heats to go. In heat 6 we have Andrei Shabasov and Grigory Tarasevich, so 2 Russians in lanes 4 and 3, and Simone Sabbioni, a very good sprinter, in 5. Apostolos Christou, keep an eye on him. European Championship bronze medalist, long course.
Take your marks.
Fantastic start by Sabbioni in 5. And also looking strong, Ole Braunschweig from Germany. He swims in lane 7. However, at the halfway mark, it is in 2. Thomas Franta, who is closest to Sabbioni. 24.21. Faster than the pace of Shane Ryan in the previous heat. It is Franta, Sabbioni, and then the rest of the field. Where are the Russians? Well, here they are. Shabasov making a move at the final turn, but missing out on the podium. Thomas Franta takes it 50.74, the winning time, which is almost half a second faster than his entry time. So a very good swim by Tomasz Franta. Sabbioni second, then Braunschweig, Christou and Shabasov. That was a very, very tight finish. Only a few hundredths of a second separating Braunschweig and Marcus Lee. And Joe Litchfield will now officially make it to the semi-finals from heat number 2, and that is quite a feat. Great swim by Litchfield. Only 3 of the swimmers faster than him so far, and this is the final heat with European record holder Kliment Kolesnikov in lane 4. Yesterday, he did win a title with the Russian quartet in the men's 4x50 meter freestyle relay. However, he missed out on the final in the men's 200 back.
Take your marks.
Let's see what he is capable of this time around in the 100 meters. Christian Diener in 5, winner of the silver medal yesterday in the 200 meters, and Luke Greenbank, bronze medalist from yesterday in lane 6. Setting the pace in 3, Lorenzo Mora. From Italy, Diener, Bohush from Hungary, and Kolesnikov down in 4th position. This is where the Russian has to push really hard. Let's not forget, we did already have a bunch of Russians in this event, and only the 2 fastest of them will go through to the semi-finals. And Kolesnikov, well, this is his speed. And this is his usual self, winning the heat. Wow, very close to his own European record. A statement swim by Kliment Kolesnikov. Well below 50 seconds. Beating the field by almost a full second. And Kliment Kolesnikov will be the top favorite to take this 100-meter backstroke tomorrow in the finals. But first, of course, they have to contest the semi-finals, which will be swum today afternoon. So in this heat, we have Kolesnikov and then Diener a distant second, Mora, Greenbank, Stakowski and Bohush. Those 6 will make it through to the semis. Kolesnikov, then Shane Ryan, and in 10th position, Joe Litchfield. What a swim by him in lane or in heat 2, makes it to the semi-finals. 51.24. Marcus Lee just in, and Joan Ndoye from France just out, missing the cut by 1/100th of a second. And also out, Radoslav Kavensky, and that is quite a surprise to see the Pole not making it to the semi-finals of the 100 backstroke. Our next event is the women's 100-meter individual medley with 5 heats. Of course, this 100-meter medley is a short course only event, as they swim one length of the pool in each of the disciplines. So 25 meters of butterfly, then backstroke, then breaststroke, and then freestyle. Heat number 1 features Lena Grabowski from Austria and Esther Szabó-Feltoti next to her.
Take your marks.
The Hungarian still a junior swimmer, and so is Lena Grabowski. So in butterfly it is lane 6, Leah Polonsky, who has the fastest from Israel, and also looking strong up in lane 1, Molly Main from Ireland, only 14 years of age, Molly Main. Polonsky, Grabowski, Szabó, the leading 3. And Polonsky also looking strong in the breaststroke. And making her move in 3. That is Katrina Teterevkova from Lithuania. A very strong breaststroke leg by her, and she will be in 2nd position. The heat will be won by the Israeli Leah Polonsky. Teterevkova in 2nd, well behind, and Grabowski and Szabó finishing tied 3rd in the heat. So this is the official result of the first heat. Only one swimmer below 102. Actually, Leah Polonsky swam a better time than what it took to go to the semi-finals 2 years ago. Back then, a 101.6 was needed. Polonsky now leads the pack with 101.4, with 4 more heats to go. Her compatriot Anastasia Gorbenko in lane 4 for this 2nd heat.
Take your marks.
So Gorbenko in 4, 101.6, her entry time. She has to better that if she wants to beat Leah Polonsky from the previous heat. Up in lane 1, Cornelia Pommer, yet another Austrian. Fastest at the halfway turn. Gorbenko 2nd, and Nina Stanisavljevic from Serbia in 3rd position. Let's see the breaststroke. Normally we say that breaststroke is the most decisive leg within an individual medley swim. However, when it comes to 100 meter IM, then, well, it's only 25 meters in breaststroke. So it's not about the technique. It's not about endurance. It is only about speed. And Anastasia Gorbenko, well, she does have the speed. She did have the speed over the breaststroke, and she maintained the lead and the freestyle, so she takes this first heat by a huge margin, almost a full second ahead of Cornelia Pommer. 1:00:37. I would say that she has a realistic chance of going through to the semis. As we move on to the first of the 3 seeded heats, of course we will see Katinka Hosszu, the world record holder featuring in the final heat of this event. But in this first seeded heat, we have Siobhan Mary O'Connor in 4, Alicja Torch from Poland in 5.
Take your marks.
O'Connor, of course, the Olympic silver medalist in the 200-meter IM, and looking to get as close as possible to Katinka Hosszu, not only at this meet but also at next year's European Championships long course in Budapest, and then of course at the Tokyo Olympic Games. Alicja Torch in front and the halfway turn, 26.8, way faster than the speed from Gorbenko in the previous heat. O'Connor, a very good breaststroke swimmer, getting close to Alicja Torch over this leg, and it is going down to freestyle in between those two. Also looking strong in 6, Costanza Cocconcelli from Italy. So the pole takes it, Cocconcelli second, and Siobhan Mary O'Connor finishing in 3rd position. Those 3 are below the 60-second barrier. A happy first for Alicja Torch. And also Costanza Cocconcelli with a very good swim. For the first time in her career, she swims under a minute in the 100 medley. This is the final result of the 3rd heat, and we move on to heat number 4 as Maria Kameneva from Russia takes the middle lane. You can see her entry time, 58.1, so way faster than the speed that we've seen so far.
Take your marks.
Kameneva, a very good sprinter. Already a finalist tonight in the women's 100 back. So it has to be an easy swim by her to spare some energy for the afternoon session. .27.01, a lot faster than the speed of Torch from the previous heat. Not the best of breaststrokers, but as I told you, breaststroke is not the decisive factor when it comes to 100-meter swimming. So Maria Kameneva takes it easily, 58.67 the winning time. Ugolkova, who was a finalist yesterday in the 400-meter individual medley, is second, and Lena Kreundl from Austria takes 3rd. Those 3 are under 60 seconds. Kameneva, the only one below 59 so far. As the swimmers in the final heat are already at their blocks. Here's the result of heat 4, and let's wait and see what the world record holder, reigning champion Katinka Hosszu is capable of. 57.05. That's her entry time. Her winning time from Hangzhou, the World Short Course Championships last year. Here she is. Next to her, Zsuzsanna Jakabos, silver medalist in the 400-meter IM.
Take your marks.
Can both of the Hungarians make it through to the semis? Katinka Hosszu will most probably make it easily through. However, she was not the fastest in butterfly, but has the best underwater kicking. So already in the lead. Jenna Laukkanen, a breaststroke swimmer, to horse shoulders. So it's going to be interesting to see what Katinka is capable of in breaststroke up against a breaststroke specialist. Well, the finish takes over, and at the final turn it is Laukkanen from Hosszu. But of course Katinka has the backhand speed that Laukkanen does not, so the Hungarian will take it. Her winning time is also in the 58s, and Laukkanen Jakabos on the podium in this final heat of the women's 100 meters individual medley. So we're waiting for the results to be official. As of now, it stands Hosszu, Laukkanen, and Jakabos, 1, 2, and 3. Only two of them inside 59 seconds, or sorry, 60 seconds. And now the results are official, meaning that Katinka Hosszu will qualify for the semis in second spot, as Maria Kameneva was the fastest in the prelims. So this is the final result of the final heat, and even Kristina Horska made it through to the semi-finals. Maria Kameneva and Katinka Hosszu will be swimming in two different semi-finals, only to face off in the final of the event tomorrow. And Andrea Podmanikova from Slovakia is the last one to qualify with a time of 101.1. Just a reminder, 2 years ago in Copenhagen it took 101.6 to go through. So once again we can underline that the field is faster, the field is stronger than it was 2 years ago. But no time to rest. We move to the next event, which is the men's 400 meters individual medley. 3 heats to be contested, with the bigger names following in heats number 2 and 3. Ryan Lochte, the world record holder, Laszlo Cseh, the European record holder. The latter was set 10 years ago, almost exactly 10 years ago, at the Short Course European Championships in Istanbul.
This is heat 1.
The great Hungarian Laszlo Cseh, not present in Glasgow, preparing for his home European Long Course Championships next May, and of course preparing for the Tokyo Olympic Games, which would be his 5th.
Take your marks.
So in this first heat we have Ondřej Kemov from the Czech Republic in 4 and Sinan Rueg from Switzerland. Those two are in the middle lanes, but keep an eye on the Irish, as they are always capable of causing some surprise. And also Léon Marchand from France, who is the son of former great swimmer, international champion Xavier Marchand. the 100-meter mark, it is going to be Kiemov ahead of Marchand and Gal Cohen from Israel. 55.95, the opening split by Andrei Kiemov, who has an entry time of 4:15.2. Well, to qualify for the finals, let's not forget, it is 400 meters, so only the 8 fastest will go through. So to qualify, I think it would take definitely a time below 4:10. So both Marchand and Kiemov need to swim a huge personal best. Leon Marchand taking the lead in the backstroke. And almost a body length ahead of Andrei Kiemov at the halfway turn. .88 hundredths of a second is advantage. In breaststroke, which is the decisive leg normally in a 400-meter event, well, it seems that Marchand can hold on to the lead. Even build up on the lead. Very smooth, very nice, long strokes by him. And Kiemov is overtaken right now by Brendan Hyland from Ireland. So Kiemov is a very poor breaststroke swimmer, dropping back to 5th position right now. And Leon Marchand with a lead of a good 3 or 4 meters ahead of Brendan Hyland. 1:10 leg in breaststroke by Leon Marchand, and he will bring it home. And let's wait and see what his time will be. With a great finish, he can be well below 4:10, and that could be enough for, well, I don't know, maybe a qualification for the finals. Let's wait and see. So Leon Marchand, at his international debut, wins his heat by a huge margin and with a very, very good time, 4:07.5. Great job by Leon Marchand. Daddy must love it. Xavier Marchand was a 200-meter specialist, winning European silver medal and world silver medal 21 years ago in Perth. And now it is time for his son, Leon Marchand, to swim his first international final, 4:07.5. Remember, 2 years ago it took 4:09.2 to go through. So this could be enough. But will it be enough? We still have 20 more swimmers. And one of them is this guy, Duncan Scott, from Scotland, from Glasgow, in lane 4. Next to him, Gerkay Jurta, former European short course champion in the 1500 meters, and the brother of Olympic champion Daniel Jurta. We are still waiting for the first heat's official results, so the results are not confirmed yet. I'm afraid that there will be a disqualification. It takes too long to confirm the results. So they must be checking that back in the video room. But now they are official, so Leon Marchand with a huge personal best of 4:07.5 takes the first heat. Here are the official results, 4:07.5. But 20 more swimmers to go, and 12 of these 20 swimmers have a better personal best than that 4:05. Oh, so 4:07, sorry.
Take your marks.
Let's see what Duncan Scott is capable of. He already swam the 200-meter freestyle earlier in the program and won the heat by a huge margin, so he will swim the final of the 200 free this afternoon. Will he swim the final of the 400 IM? As it seems, yes, he is super hot. Look at the margin, more than a second ahead of Balázs Holló and Gergely Gyurta, the two Hungarians. Holló already a finalist in the 400-meter freestyle. And the former world junior champion. Look at that, what a butterfly leg by Duncan Scott. Very close to the European record split of Laszlo Czap. And backstroke, it is Ilya Borodin from Russia in lane 3, who moves into second position. Duncan Scott still comfortably in the lead. If I were him, it was time to ease off a little bit and spare some energy for the two finals he is going to contest today. 200 free, 400 IM. That is a terrible double. That was not the best of turns by Duncan Scott, who had, by the way, the fastest backstroke leg. So not only in butterfly, but also in backstroke, the fastest in the field. That's a safe turn from backstroke to breaststroke, and Brodie Williams moves into second spot. So it is Great Britain 1 and 2 at the halfway turn. And now let's see what Gyurta, Borodin and the others are capable of in breaststroke. Duncan Scott more than 5 meters ahead of the pack. Ilya Borodin getting a little closer to him. And Gyurta in third position. So Duncan Scott will have a realistic chance of making the double in the 200 free 400 IM this afternoon. He will definitely be in the final of both events. The only question is if he can have enough power, enough endurance to swim those two events at the highest possible level. So 50 meters to go. Scott almost 5 seconds ahead of the pack, with Borodin and Gyurta following. Look at the margin of win by Duncan Scott. Another statement by him here in Glasgow, taking this heat with a time of 4:01.2. That is incredible. 4:01.2 in the prelims after a 150 the 200 free. Hats off to Duncan Scott. So the only question mark is, does he know how to swim 400 IM twice in a day at major championships? Wasn't it too much for the prelims, especially with the 200 free earlier in the program? That is going to be an interesting question when it comes to the finals. Okay, and this is the final heat in the men's 400 IM with another British, Max Litchfield, in lane 4. Hungary's Peter Bernek in 5, finalists from this year's Long Course World Championships.
Take your marks.
Bernek, the former world and European short course champion of the 400 freestyle, who already swam the 200 back yesterday. He did not make it to the final. Can he make it this time? It is Litchfield who sets the pace. Russia's Daniil Pasinkov next to him in lane 3, and down in 7 it is Finn Minuth from Germany. This is his first major international event. And after the butterfly, it is going to be the German up in front. 55.48, which is 1.5 seconds slower than Duncan Scott in the previous heat. This leg, the backstroke, is where Max Litchfield has to take over, and well, he does. Already a body length ahead of Minuth and Pasinkov in 3rd. So, as it seems, it is going to be the two British fighting for the gold medal in the final of the 400 IM, as both Duncan Scott and Max Litchfield seem to be very strong. Litchfield, a 4.0018 to his name, looking for his first trip inside the 4-minute barrier. And the halfway turn, 1:56.18, which is a little more than a second slower than the split of Duncan Scott in the previous heat. But look at that, no one is even close to him. So Litchfield and Knipping from the Netherlands in 2, Pasinkov in 3, but the British has 2 body length advantage over the pack. The fastest in breaststroke is Eduard Valyakhmetov from Russia, swimming in lane 6, but he is well behind the leading 3. So Max Litchfield 3:05 at the 300-meter mark, which means his time should be slower than that of Duncan Scott, but definitely good enough to take this final heat. And now he can also just look around and ease off a little bit qualification for the finals is sure now, and we are going to have a great duel between and just missing the cut. Poor Léon Marchand by 3/100ths of a second. So Léon Marchand will not be able to swim his first senior final in Glasgow. What a pity for him, missing out by 3/100ths of a second. But we have to move on. Penultimate event today is the mixed 4x50 meter medley relay. Mixed relay means that 2 men and 2 women are in each team in any order, so the coaches may choose who swims the backstroke, who swims the breast, the fly and the freestyle. This is lineup for Heat 1. Ireland and Great Britain taking the middle lanes, but of course France is going to be very strong, and the Netherlands as well. I would put my money on the Dutch right now. This is Florent Manodou making his comeback at a major international event for the first time since the 2016 Rio Olympic Games, where he won silver medal in the men's 50 free and then took a couple of years off, returned to competition this year, and now he is here at another European Championships. So Florent Manodou taking the backstroke leg for France, Georgia Davis for Great Britain, and Kira Toussaint for the Netherlands in 9.
Take your marks.
Manodou, of course, was a short course world champion in the 50 backstroke a few years ago. But this time it is Manodou and, well, close to him, Iskender Baslakov from Turkey, and from Germany, Ole Braunschweig. 23.25 the time of Manodou, just a second off his personal best. So it is breaststroke, Emre Sakci for Turkey, and 2, Theo Bussière for France, and also looking strong, Arnaud Kaminga in lane number 9. Now we turn to butterfly. Niall Portkop for France. Of course, they will have Beryl Gastadello swimming this leg if they make it to the finals. And in 9, Jesse Putz. for the Netherlands. And they take over the lead. Femke Heemskerk is the anchor swimmer for the Netherlands, Anna Saint-Amand for France. So only women in the field right now, and it is the Netherlands up in front. Femke Heemskerk brings it home. France second, Great Britain third with Anna Hopkin swimming fantastic anchor leg. So Florent Manodou is officially back. We will see him in a great duel up against Vlad Morozov in the 50 free a little later on. But now it is the 4x50 mixed medley relay. Netherlands first from France and Great Britain. The first 5 nations below 140, which could be the cut for the finals. Seeing this mixed medley is always fun, to see men and women competing together, racing against each other, and also to see the tactics that coaches use when deciding where to put
Ladies
which
and gentlemen,
gender.
please welcome the teams for Heat 2.
Heat 2 coming up. Italy, Denmark, Andorra, Spain, Russia, Israel, Poland, Slovakia, Sweden and Belarus in the mixed. Russia looking very strong with Fasikov, Kostin, Surkova and Daria Ustinova. Of course, they will have reserves for the final, provided they make it to the finals. Also strong, the Polish team. Let's not forget that yesterday in the men's 4x50 free, it was Poland who took the second spot, the silver medal behind Russia.
This is Heat 2.
So the final heat of the 4x50 mixed medley, with Italy up in lane 0. Russia in 4, Israel 5, then Poland in 6. Sergei Fasikov, former world record holder in the 100-meter individual medley, he is going to swim the backstroke leg. A few male swimmers and a few female swimmers in the mix.
Take your marks.
4, that is 4 male swimmers. So most probably those nations will be up in front. And as expected, Sergei Fasikov from Russia is the fastest. For Belarus, Ilya Shimanovic, he is going to swim the breaststroke leg up against Oleg Kostin. So at the halfway mark, most probably it will be Russia and Belarus 1 and 2. Looking very strong, Ilya Shimanovic just missed out on the medal in the 50 breast, and now it's up to the ladies. Anastasia Shkurdai up against Arina Surkova in the fly. Meanwhile, Denmark is in 3rd position, and Israel will be disqualified due to a bad takeover by Anastasia Gorbenko. So Surkova managed to take over the lead from Belarus, and it is Daria Ustinova's task to finish it off. And Ustinova in the lead, looking strong. Denmark in 1, also Belarus down in 9. And those are the first 3 nations to finish this heat. Poland in 4, Italy only in 5th position, and they will not qualify for the finals. So as of now it is Russia, from Belarus, from Denmark, and only those 3 are below 140. So those 3 will make it to the finals, and Poland and Italy will be out. We're still waiting for the official results. Israel, down in 8th position, will be disqualified due to a bad takeover by Anastasia Gorbenko. This is Oleg Kostin starting his leg, and then Shkurdai against Arina Surkova. Great power by Daria Ustinova, who will most probably not swim in the finals of the event, because the Russians have Maria Kameneva, who is a better sprinter than Ustinova. However, it is still a decision coaches have to make. Where to put Kameneva? Do they want to put Vlad Morozov in the mix, swimming either the breaststroke or the freestyle leg? Do they put Kliment Kolesnikov in the mix, swimming either the freestyle or the backstroke leg? So it's going to be an interesting decision that Russian coaches have to make, and it's going to be interesting to see Russia up against the Netherlands in the finals. They are checking the takeover from the Israeli team, which once again is ranked 8th in this heat. Here is the replay of the takeover. Well, that seemed to be okay. The next one, that is where the problem is, from breaststroke to butterfly. That seemed to be absolutely correct. Yakov Tumarkin swimming the backstroke and Leah Polonsky the breaststroke leg. But the next takeover, from breaststroke to butterfly, that is what my computer says was not good. Normally there is a tolerance. The rule says 0.03 of a second is the tolerance, so you may start 0.03 of a second earlier than your teammate touches the wall, but Gorbenko had a bad takeover, minus 0.06 her reaction time. But now they're checking it. They are checking it once again if there was something wrong. This is backstroke to breaststroke, and you see it's just perfect. Leah Polonsky hits it. She was to the right, and that was okay. Once again, the concern is from breaststroke to butterfly. That's what they have to check, if the computer was wrong or it really was a bad takeover. So this is the video analysis room, and they are watching all the footage they have. They have special cameras also for this purpose, to show the takeovers, if it's okay or not. But now we have the official results, so Israel will be disqualified for a bad takeover, and Russia is now officially the winner of the second heat, ahead of Belarus and Denmark.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the athletes for
those
the
are
men's
the first
1500 meters freestyle heats.
3 to make it through: Russia, Netherlands, and Belarus. Only 4 100ths of a second separating Russia and the Netherlands, but Russia has Vladimir Morozov, Kliment Kolesnikov, and Maria Kameneva also to be added to this relay. So it's going to be interesting to see that final in the afternoon session. And our last event this morning is the men's 1500 freestyle. 3 heats with Gregorio Paltrinieri swimming in the second one. He is the world and European record holder. He set that time 4 years ago in Netanya, Israel, and the LEN European Short Course Swimming Championships.
Take your marks.
Okay, so no problems with the start this time, as the first heat is on its way in the men's 1500 freestyle. We have Daniel Wiffen from Ireland in 3, Adam Rosipal, Slovakia in 4, Sebastian Lunak, Czech Republic in 5, and in 6, Loris Bianchi, who has, well, the worst entry time of all, just outside of 16 minutes. 16:02. That is what he tries to improve here in Glasgow. Only 57 laps to go. It has the lap counter, so a 1500 meter race is, well, quite long. 60 laps, which means 59 turns actually. And those 3, Wiffen, Rosipal, and Lunak, well ahead of Loris Bianchi from San Marino. Of course, they do not have, neither of these guys have a realistic chance of qualifying for the final that is going to be contested tomorrow afternoon. So those swimming the marathon leg, the 1500 for men and the 800 for women, have an extra day off to rest and to prepare for the finals. And so long ago, they only swam the 1500 meters once. So there were no prelims and finals, but only timed finals, which meant the strongest heat or the fastest heat was seeded to the afternoon session, and all the others swam at the end of the morning session. But that's not the case anymore. Now we have prelims and finals. At the 200 meter mark, it was Sebastian Lunak from the Czech Republic in the lead, and swimming very close to him is Adam Rosipal from Slovakia. A long way to go as they are approaching 1/5 of the distance. That is 300 meters. And Rosipal takes over right now and turns first. Just outside 1 minute, his last 100 meters. So Rosipal has an entry time of 15:09.3. 15:09 in Copenhagen 2 years ago. One needed 14.41 to qualify for the finals in this event. So that's why I said that these guys swim for setting new personal bests, maybe setting national records, but most probably they will not make it this time to the finals of the event. Talking about the finals, as I said, it will be contested only tomorrow, and we can already look forward to a clash between world record holder Gregorio Patrinieri and current European and world short course champion Mikhailo Romanchuk from the Ukraine. They have already had a few great duels in the pool, and the last short course Europeans, Romanchuk won by a huge margin, but last year in Hangzhou at the World Short Course Championships, only 7/10 of a second separated those two. So Romanchuk and Patrinieri, both of them here in Glasgow. Patrinieri will swim in the next heat, and Romanchuk in the final heat of this morning session. 1/3 of the distance covered, and Adam Rosipal still in the lead. 1:01 his last 100 meters. It's going to be a great battle between Rosipal and Lunak, and also Daniel Wiffen is close to them, so he also may be in contention. That's what we call synchronized swimming. No, not really. Now it is Wiffen who takes over the lead with a sub-30 split. So the strategy was to swim a very strong 50 meters after the 600 meter mark. And now he is clearly in front of Adam Rosipal. Lunak lagging behind, already half a second behind Daniel Wiffen. As we get closer to the halfway mark, and Wiffen is pulling away from Rosipal and Lunak. This last 100 meters just outside 60 seconds. And now already 8/10 of a second ahead of Rosipal and Lunak. As they reach the halfway mark right now, 750 meters. Wiffen in the lead, 7:32. Well, that suggests swim a little bit outside 15 minutes. He has an entry time of 15:35. And you can be quite sure that he will better that. Question is, by how much is he going to be under 15:35? It is going to be closer to the 15-meter barrier than to the 15:30. Meanwhile, they're catching up with Loris Bianchi, overlapping him. With less than 700 meters to go. A sub 4:02 400 meters to Daniel Wiffen's name, as he is building on his lead right now. splitting 30, then 30.2, and a couple of 29s as well. However, still very, very long way to go. We are at the 900-meter mark, so 3/5 of the distance covered right now. And Daniel Wiffen is on pace for 15:05 new personal best. He is pulling away from Rosipal and Luna. Once again, if we go back to Copenhagen 2 years ago at the European Short Course Championships, where it took 14:41 to qualify for the finals, so I wouldn't say that Wiffen has even an outside chance of going through, but that's a nice swing though by the Irish. So in Copenhagen, Romanchuk won with a time of 14:14. And last year in Hangzhou at the Short Course World Championship, he bettered that time by a huge margin, 14:09, swimming very close to the world and European record of Gregorio Patrinieri. So 14:09, the winning time, and Patrinieri also on 14:09, with Henrik Christiansen from Norway finishing third back then, which might be the podium here in Glasgow as well, since we have all three of them in the mix: Patrinieri, Romanchuk and Christiansen as well. Daniel Wiffen now at the 1100-meter mark. This last split just outside 30 seconds. He did split a couple of 29s before this one. And this is going to be a huge personal best by him. Rosipal and Lunak fighting for second place with less than 350 meters to go. Bianchi is way behind. But Daniel Wiffen from Ireland, well, that should be close to the 15-meter barrier. If only he knew that, I'm quite sure he would find some energy for these final 300 meters. He just took a look at the lap counter to see where we are. 11 laps to go. Daniel. Oh, his hair is coming out of the cap. If I got that shot correctly, that would be quite disturbing for him. So a 30.5 split for Wiffen. Is he fading away, or was that just the hair or that sneak to the lap counter? We'll find it out pretty soon, as we have 200 meters to go. And Wiffen 30.0. And this last 50 meters. Meanwhile, Lunak is making his move, pulling away from Rosipal, the early leader. The Slovakian is back in third position. And only 6 laps to go for Wiffen. So 150 meters for the Irish, and unfortunately it seems that it's not going to be under 15 minutes, but it is going to be a huge personal best by Whiffen. So we are about to enter the final 100 meters. Loris Bianchi from San Marino in 6, already 100 meters behind the leading Irish. Yes, that hair must be disturbing. You cannot see clearly the lap counter. Only 3 laps to go, Daniel, come on. Let's make a huge final surge for this personal best. Daniel Whiffen only 40 meters away from winning the first heat of this 1500 meters. And his time, yes, closer to the 15-minute barrier than to the 15:30. However, not inside of that. It is going to be 15:04.47. Luna in second with a 15:11, and Rosipal third. Lunak also swimming better than his entry time, and nice swim by Daniel Whiffen. Once again, his entry time was 15:35, and he is better than that by half a minute. And now the bells ring for Loris Bianchi, meaning he also has less than 50 meters left. And that will be it for the first heat in the 1500 meters. So Whiffen, Lunak, Rosipal, and within a few seconds, Loris Bianchi touching fourth. And swimming just outside his personal best, the time of 16:11.7. But now it is time to speed up. With all due respect to Daniel Whiffen, the following heat is going to be a lot swifter. With 3 Italians in the mix, Detti, Patrinieri and Acerenza. Also, look out for David Aubry from France. But Greg, or Gregorio Patrinieri, is the favorite to take this second heat.
Take your marks.
Erik Gitskog from Norway did not start, so there's an empty lane, lane number 8. And here we have the second heat in the men's 1500 meters. Lindholm from Denmark up in lane 0, then Mertens from Germany in 1, Gabriela Detti in 2, Sven Schwarz, another German, in 3, Patrinieri 4, Aubry 5, Acerenza 6, then Wojciech Wojdak in 7, and Martin Bau from Slovenia down in lane 9. So Patrinieri setting the pace, and what a pace that is. Already a body length ahead of the pack that is led by Gabriela Detti, and only 0.03 of a second outside his own world record at the 100-meter mark. Poltrinieri seems to be a class on his own in this heat. Of course, he has to make sure to qualify, not only by swimming a good time, but also by beating Detti and Occhiarenta. Remember, only the two best from each nation may go through to the finals. So right now it is Poltrinieri ahead of Detti, the latter taking bronze medal in the 400 meters yesterday. 150, the next split. We may compare that to the speed of Mikhailo Romanchuk in the final heat of this event. So Detti is closest to Poltrinieri, who is already a bronze medalist here in Glasgow, also bronze medalist last year at the Long Course Europeans here in Glasgow, has an Olympic bronze medal, has a Long Course World Championship bronze medal to his name, but wants to clinch at least another medal here in the 1500 meters. It will be really hard for him to catch up with either Poltrinieri or Romanchuk when it comes to the final. Poltrinieri still swimming sub 29 second 50 meter splits, and well ahead of Detti and Aubry right now. Look at the distance, already 2.5 seconds up on the chasing pack. And they're not chasing him, they're swimming their own race, I think. 28.7, the last split by Poltrinieri. He is not slowing down, not at all. 3:45.99, the 400 meter split. Once again, 28.8 by him. Aubry this time also under 29 seconds. I know it's no use comparing Poltrinieri to Daniel Wiffen from the previous heat, but it might be worth noting that he is 14 seconds faster at 400 meters than the Irish was. Which means that in the end he could be, if he maintains this speed, he could be very close to the 14:20 mark, which is, I think, unprecedented in the heats of the 1500 meters. The world record that stood quite long to Grant Hackett, only to be taken away from him by Poltrinieri. He was the first one who managed to swim under 14:10, and Mikhailo Romanchuk was the second one. So the first time here in Glasgow, Poltrinieri is outside of 29 seconds in this past 50 meters. He swam at 29 flat. And Aubry is, well, keeping up the pace with him. Now 4/100ths of a second under 29. Again, Poltrinieri. Covering 600 meters. the next split. 28.79, so keeping the pace. Aubry second and Detti in third position right now. But the other Italian, Acerenza, is way faster than Detti is, so he might be overtaken in the second half of the distance. 28.8, the next lap from Paltrinieri. That is just amazing speed in the prelims. Greg Paltrinieri on his way to lane 4 in the finals. 7:08 and the halfway mark. So let's see if he eases out in the second half of these 1500 meters. I remember when first seeing Greg Paltrinieri swim, I thought, okay, he's not a long distance swimmer. This frequency, he cannot hold on to that for such a long distance, but he proved me wrong. He proved every swimming expert wrong, and in this very special technique of his, he is one of the best, or the very best, long-distance swimmer right now. At the 800 mark, his split was 7:37. Still swimming under 29 seconds each 50 meters. And Acerenza, as expected, now overtaking Gabriela Detti and moving into third position. And he is even faster than David Aubry, so he may go after the Frenchman in the final 600 meters. And in case you were wondering, we can compare Paltrinieri's split to Daniel Wiffen. Well, he is already 30 seconds ahead of the Irish swimmer. 950 covered, so getting to the 1000 meter mark, and David Aubry will be overtaken by Domenico Acerenza when 2/3 of the distance is done. Well, Paltrinieri seems to be, well, in incredible form. 9:32.6. A 57.7 his last 100 meters. Wow, Gregorio Paltrinieri showing off his speed, his endurance, his power, his superiority in this heat. And he can even be faster than that. He just split at 28.6 after all those 28.8s. Now he is improving on that speed. Already more than 20 meters ahead of the chasing pack of Acerenza and Aubry. And overlapping now Mertens and Lindholm, swimming up in lane 0 and 1. Another 28.6 to his name. Detti well behind in 4th position, so he really needs to push hard in these final 400 meters to overtake Aubry and Acerenza. Remember, only 2 Italians can make it through, and one of them is going to be Greg Paltrinieri, no question about that. 1200 meters done, and Paltrinieri is on historic pace right now. Only 8 seconds off the pace of his own European and world record. A sub 350 400 meters we've just seen. Amazing speed already in the prelims of the 1500 meters. Of course, he knows that we will have his great rival Mikhailo Romanchuk in the next heat, so he wants to lay down a gauntlet and let Romanchuk know that he is in top shape right now. Okay, 200 meters to go. Paltrinieri still splitting 28.6. And he will win it by a huge margin. Look at that, nowhere near him. The chasing pack of Acerenza, Aubry and Detti. Detti is getting closer to Acerenza a little bit. Hasn't he left it too late? Only 5 more laps to go for Paltrinieri. Detti is right now 1.5 seconds behind compatriot Domenico Acerenza. Only 100 meters to go for Paltrinieri. 28.5 to his name right now. And he is going to swim, I think, the fastest ever prelims in the history of short course swimming. Only 50 meters to go. 28.4 Paltrinieri's pace, and this is going to be well below 14:20. That is just incredible what we see from this Italian. Well below 14:20. It is going to be 14:18.1. Just to make a comparison, 2 years ago, Mikhailo Romanchuk was the fastest in the prelims. He swam 14:30.3. Paltrinieri 14:34, by the way. And now it is 14:18.1. 2 years ago in Copenhagen, the race was won by Mikhailo Romanchuk with a time of 14:14.5. So Paltrinieri is close to that speed already in the prelims. He's not too tired, is he? He's smiling. That was a decent morning swim, right, Greg? This is just brilliant. 14:18.1. Aubry second, touching out Acerenza, and Detti in fourth will not be swimming the finals. And this is the lineup for the final heat. Romanchuk in the middle lane, Henrik Christiansen, bronze medalist from last year's World Short Course Championships, and also bronze medalist at the Copenhagen Short Course European Championships. So that is Christiansen in 5, and Romanchuk in lane number 4.
Take your marks.
Once again, an empty lane. That is lane 8, Henning Mühleitner from Germany skipping this race. So we have Jon Jundvedt from Norway up in 0, then Vukcelic from Serbia, Ruven Straub, Germany in 2, Jan Mitzka, look out for him, he is in 3, then Romanchuk, Christiansen, Akos Kalmar from Hungary in 6, Alexander Nørgaard from Norway, the early pace setter. From Denmark, Nørgaard from Denmark, he is in 7, and José Paulo Lopes from Portugal down in lane 9. So Nørgaard 54.49, which is already 7/10 of a second off the base of Greg Paltrinieri. Romanchuk almost a full second slower in the first 100 meters than Paltrinieri was. There is still Nørgaard in front, Romanchuk and Mitzka. Beautiful technique, Mikhailo Romanchuk just taking over before the 200-meter mark. Completely different if you remember the way Greg Paltrinieri swims. It seems that he is sparing so much energy, and normally he does have great backhand speed, but will it be enough against Greg Paltrinieri in the finals of the 1500 meters? Right now, Romanchuk about a second slower than Paltrinieri was at the 200-meter mark. He knows exactly what the Italians swim and knows exactly what he wants to swim. Does he want to compete with the time, that incredible 14:18 of Paltrinieri, or he just wants to securely go through to the finals and save as much energy as possible? Romanchuk and the 300-meter turn. This past 100 meters were faster than the speed of Paltrinieri, getting closer to him. Only 7/10 of a second separating Paltrinieri's split and Romanchuk's split. Those two will have a great duel tomorrow in the finals of the 1500 meters. And if they fight against each other, then we usually see some very swift times, like last year in Hangzhou and the short course world championships, where they were so close to Paltrinieri's world record, both of them actually. 400 meter done, 3:46.4 the split, and once again Romanchuk was faster than Paltrinieri in the previous heat over these past 100 meters, and only 4/10 of a second separating those two virtually, of course. Christiansen in second, Mitzka third, and Akos Kalmar holding on to that fourth spot, which could mean qualification for the final for the young Hungarian. Romanchuk pulling away, the only one swimming sub 29-second split. almost 5 meters ahead of the chasing pack, which seems to be stronger than in the previous heat with Aubry, Acharenta and Detti. So these three, Christiansen, Mitka and Kolmar, they are closer to Romanchuk. 6:39.4, which is 1/10 of a second slower now than the pace of Greg Potrinieri. We are at the halfway mark. 7:08.3, almost exactly the same as Potrinieri's split was just some 15 minutes ago. Once again, it seems to be a rather easy swim by Romanchuk with those long strokes, not really using his legs, sparing energy. And look at the move Henrik Christiansen is making. A sub 28.6 in his past 50 meters, and he is a lot faster than Mihailo Romanchuk. By the way, Romanchuk is 0.08 of a second slower than Potrinieri was at the 800 meter mark. But Christiansen looks strong as well. 28.8 by Romanchuk. Now Christiansen back to the 29s. So after a few very strong laps of 28.7 and 28.5, now he is once again over 29 seconds. Three-fifths of the distance done. Mihailo Romanchuk 4.99, which is 0.07 of a second slower than Potrinieri. So just imagine the Italians swimming next to Romanchuk, and they would be swimming hands in hand at the very same pace. Let's see if Romanchuk wants to improve on that pace or not. Wow, the first time he is over 29. So this is where splitting 28.6s. Now Romanchuk seems to be slowing down a little. At the 1,000 meter mark, 9:32.9. Potrinieri was 9:32.6. Once again, when Potrinieri swam his heat, I said that was unprecedented to see such a swift a little bit closer to him than 100 meters ago in second position. 28.9 by Romanchuk, and right now he is more than a second outside of the pace of Greg Potrinieri. So now I doubt that this is going to be better than the Italians' time, and might just be outside of 14:20. Yet another 29.1 split by Romanchuk with 3:50 to go. Christiansen clearly second, ahead of Jan Mitka with 300 meters to go. 28.8 Romanchuk split, 29 flat for Christiansen. So Christiansen is on pace for a sub 14:30 swim in the prelims. And just a reminder, 2 years ago at the last edition of these short course Europeans, Romanchuk won the heats in a time of 14:30. And now it seems that not only Romanchuk but also Poitrinieri and Christiansen will be better than that. A little more than 200 meters to go for Mihailo Romanchuk, splitting 28.8, 28.9s. This time a 29.1 by him. So now already 2.5 seconds slower than Greg Poitrinieri was in the previous heat. I think we can say that the Italian will be in lane number 4 and Romanchuk in 5 for the great showdown between those two in the finals of the men's 1500 meter freestyle. .9 for Romanchuk, 29.1 for Christiansen. So the gap is growing between those two. When we get to the 1400 meter mark, meaning that only 4 laps to go for the Ukrainian. This time now more than 3 seconds slower than that of Poitrinieri. This might be around 14:22 when he touches the wall in less than 70 meters. But Christiansen, the Norwegian, will also be below 14:30. Mitska in 3rd and Kalmar in 4th in this heat. So the final lap for Mihailo Romanchuk, taking this heat easily. And touching the wall at 14:21.5. Christiansen on the 14:24. And also Mitska is going to be close to the 14:30. So this is the winner of the final heat, Mihailo Romanchuk, who did swim a decent race and was at the pace of Gregorio Poitrinieri at the 900 meter mark. So let's wait and see what those two will have on their minds when it comes to the final. And let's see if Christiansen can be a factor in the final. Winner of the bronze medal behind Romanchuk and Poitrinieri and the last Europeans. Winner of the bronze medal behind Romanchuk and Poitrinieri and the last World Championships. So will history repeat itself? We still have to wait until the final sessions start tomorrow. Now it's time for some rest for these gentlemen and also for us, because this is the end of this 3rd session here in Glasgow. Here you have the final results of this final heat in the men's 1500 meters, with Akos Kalmar in 4th position, making the cut for the finals. Poitrinieri the fastest, then Romanchuk, Christiansen, Mitska, Kalmar, Aubrey Acerenza and Sven Schwartz are also in. So this was the third session here in Glasgow and the European Short Course Swimming Championships. Some swift swims and remarkable swims by Duncan Scott, setting up an interesting and exciting afternoon session. Looking forward to the 200 meter freestyle, where Scott will face off